Now I know when the bread rises.
No one's gonna get bread jokes.
They don't have to. I get them. They make me laugh.
Oh, we're on camera now. Can you guys hear us?
Hi.
Hello, world.
Hello, world.
Oh, man, I should have played
I suppose it's time for introduction. My name is Dave Silva. I will be running a game of Metahumans Rising tonight. It is a superhero game inspired by classic comics and the characters that you find in them, along with their stories. And then let's go ahead and we will just go across the board and introduce our players and their characters there. Who wants to jump in first?
Okay. Oh, you go ahead.
Hi, I'm Elena. I'm the fairy fox over here that's fluttering her wings. I'm playing Miranda today, which is my super speed bunny. I really come to like this game. The other thing is that I'm with FMEI. I'm the IT director, and we'll talk about the game that I'm working on later on, maybe at the outro or something. Here's to a good game, good dice.
All right, I'll go. My name is Spud. It's not my real name, but yes. And I'm playing Crowfather. Do we do the character intro right now?
Yeah, what are the characters?
All right, yeah. I play Crowfather. He can summon and manipulate crows. He's a crow elemental.
Greetings, I'm Michael. I'm playing Hopkules, a stuffed rabbit given life by a metahuman child. He is primarily a butler and a tank.
Oh. All right. And I think... All right. So why don't I'll go ahead and I'll give a brief introduction, and then we'll jump in.
If I may interject real quick, Dave, you may want to explain why Crimson isn't saying anything.
I was actually following on by way of a long introduction to give Crimson, aka Cat Constance, a moment to join us. I was being super sneaky about it. My plans have been spoiled. But they're joining right now, I do believe. And so I'm just going to kind of give everyone a bit of a primer on Metahumans Rising while that's happening. So as I mentioned in the introduction, this is a superhero RPG. While this is a one-shot, we're just assuming that everybody is part of a super team. So you guys do know each other. You've worked together before. And then for the purposes of our setting here, we are going to make a couple of basic assumptions, right? The game is set in the fictitious Central City, which is much like a major city somewhere in the United States. We will presume by the name that it is somehow centrally located to something. I think that The other important thing here is the other we live in a world where people are aware of superheroes. Live in a world where people are varying different opinions of superheroes. So depending on who you are, you can find fans or detractors. Not everybody is immediately enamored if you put on spandex. Although if you're brave enough to put on spandex, I feel like you should get some credit for whatever you are doing. Let's see here. I come with something else witty to say as I give a moment longer to join us. Any questions about our setup there, or does anyone want to talk about how they might know each other?
Well, I mean, is any of the? I mean, I have a lot. Is my character level 2 from last session or something? Like, do I know the people who were there still?
Well, for our character one stream, we don't have any other recurring characters from the charity one shot that we did. Mm-hmm. But we can very much assume that it's happening in the same, shared.
All right. Then I don't know how I know anybody else at the moment. So what do you? I have a little bit of history now.
Well, we can certainly say that as a rabbit-themed superhero, you and Hopkins might have looked for each other at some point.
We all do tend to have like animal-themed powers, so probably a support group for us.
Is there an anthropomorphic support group? That would be. What's that?
Don't Google furry force until after the stream.
Oh, we've seen it.
Oh, okay. Good. Because that's what I was just about to propose.
We've seen it.
I could predict that.
It's poisoned apples about them turning something into a parking lot?
No.
I love parking lots.
Okay.
Well, we could basically say we're all basically what is accounts to street level heroes operating in the same area. If memory serves, Crowfather, do you still own your occult bookstore?
You know, I should. Yeah, I still have Wealth 4. And... So yeah, that would work. That also gives like a central location.
I'll work there.
Right on. There's something to be said about hiring someone with super speed. Get a lot done.
It also help to have somebody with super strength, move entire bookcases.
Yeah, possessed doll, that's always good for business. I'm in the occult game, they expect this. I mean, I know it's not what you are, I'm just making the assumption.
Hopkins is too polite to tell you how insulted he is to be called a possessed doll.
Just like that Chucky.
No.
Just like that Annabelle.
No.
I'm trying to remember the name of Chucky's son.
CJ. Chucky Jr. I don't know. I'm just guessing. It would sound like that's what they'd make him, though.
I think it was I think it was Lynn and Glinda were his kids' names. But it's been years since I've watched Seed of Chucky. Sorry for the delay here. We're just trying to make sure that our last player is able to join in here.
Didn't they make a Chucky TV series? I might watch that.
They did. I actually watched like the first 3 episodes. It was really good. All right. We'll go ahead and get started, and hopefully they're figuring that out on the back end, and we'll move forward there. Okay. So. Who is the avid news watcher in the group here? I'm assuming somebody actually watches the news.
Probably
Yeah.
me, because I'm pretty sure that I would be, having my own stream where I rebroadcast the relevant news and talk about it. It's gonna be my sub job, my influencer. Heroic funny influencer.
Okay.
Thank you, awesome, buddy. They're back.
My Discord full on crashed just then.
Yeah, we've had a weird realigning of faces and names here.
Look, my camera fixed itself.
Ta-da!
I love it when it works.
I wonder what was causing you to put the camera. All right. If you're going to catch a story about a superpowered villain that was known as the dog catcher during the 50s and 60s, who's been recently released from Black Mountain Prison. Now, here is probably where it's important to make a distinction about metahumans in our world. They don't necessarily age the way normal humans do. People that are naturally born with powers tend to age slower. There are superheroes that have been around since World War II that might look like they're in their late 40s now. So even though he's been in prison for over 50 years, that doesn't necessarily mean that he is so old as to be written off, so to speak. But he was recently released from Black Mountain Prison, and he was a strong segregationist and leader of a gang called the Pack, known for hunting down anyone that the dog catcher felt didn't belong. He's completed his sentence, and he's being released, but they're not providing details as to where dog catcher is being released within the U.S.
And that's what's on the news?
That is the current news story. Yeah. Because it was kind of a big deal when Dogcatcher was caught. Again, even though it was 50 years ago, it was headlines nationally then, and so it rates a 2-minute spot on the evening news now.
Well, I'll give it a dedicated stream, just because it's relevant to my interest. So, yes, I'm hearing about it, talking about it on Miranda's stream. This guy's a huge jerk, a bigoted, uninclusive ass.
Yeah, that is absolutely what we're talking about. So yeah. Do you guys do like patrolling together, or what does that look like when you're out heroing it up on the for that sort of a thing?
That's a good idea. Yeah, I swear GoPro I had on heroing.
Would it catch anything other than very fast blurs?
See, what I can do is I could just like, those streams where they're showing something happening in slow motion, like they watch the beam of light going through something.
Mhm.
I'll just have what do you call it? Re-record, have the stream play back at like 800 times slower than real time, so that people can see what's happening that second over the course of 15 minutes.
Exactly. So for your stream, you wear like a I forget what they call those cameras, but it's like 300 or 1,000 frames per second cameras that slow everything down. But for you, it's like, oh, they can actually see what you're doing because they see it in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a bullet time camera.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm wandering with everybody, and I've got what they call a camera between my cute little ears.
I can actually see it like you have some kind of like device here to like hold it between the ears.
Just two little rings on my ears that join in the middle.
It wasn't long for dog catchers to reveal themselves, and turns out that even 50 years in prison does not unmake a supremacist. And so it quickly circulates across the police bands that there's been an attack at a mansion at one of the one of the most affluent neighborhoods in the city, and so why don't someone give me details about the family or the person that's being attacked? We know that this is someone that dog catcher would target.
You want me to give what do you call it? An example of it, or who is it? Like, who this other person that they're attacking is?
Yeah, like just give me some notes, and anyone can jump in here about this this person who's being attacked or mansion that is under siege by dog catcher.
Mansion, you say?
Mansion indeed. Like I said, this is probably the most affluent neighborhood in Central City.
Okay.
Could be like a rapper or.
I could pick one of my other characters that are rich. Let me see.
Well, we established that they're a rapper. And I
don't have any rappers.
We've played the camera positioning shuffle, but I think on the back end someone's working on fixing it.
Well, excuse me. We could stick with the whole influencer thing and say that this is a very outspoken, very slightly unhinged, always has something negative to say about metahumans on a large, very outer wing fringe network. Your Alex Jones type of guy who can make a lot of money by just being crazy to other crazy people who hate metahumans.
Well, I think that would actually appeal to Dogcatcher. All right, this is you'd probably be on the other end of the spectrum for Dogcatcher to come after you.
All right.
Like a pro metahuman advocate.
Yeah, like a pro metahuman advocate. Like, oh, there we go. Like, so they're a rapper. They're like a pro metahuman advocate. We'll go with an influence. Like, they got their start on like TikTok, right? And they like built their channel out from there. And now they're doing like tours and they're like speaking. And they've really evolved from there, right?
I could pick somebody. Rice Sorrente, a tiny little fairy dragon. Yeah, so what do you call it? She's got musical skills, and the voice is absolutely rich.
So the rapper's name is Ice Dragon. Did I catch that right?
No, Rice Sorrente.
Oh, you're gonna type that in the chat for me.
Okay.
Okay, but
and I see the picture.
What's that? All right, so Rizefly. All right, so Rizefly, we have our rapper, metahuman advocate, who has leveraged their platform.
She's kind of metahuman herself, given that she's a tiny little fairy dragon. There, that's what she looks like.
Well, it would seem that the dog catcher has decided to become a dragon catcher and kill it with fire. Because the attack is direct and blunt. It appears that they are setting fire to the home, and his new pack is keeping anyone from getting close. Even though the house is on fire, they're inside. They're wearing like light body armor and gas masks to prevent anyone from.
Her?
What's that?
Have they captured her?
Yeah, she is stuck in the house. Presumably, the dog catcher is doing something in there. We're not sure what, but because the pack is armed with compact assault rifles, the police can't get in to try and rescue Ricefly. So the question falls to you guys as the heroes on the scene. The police are pinned down. You have this mob of armed extremists and also a burning mansion to deal with. So
I guess she's stuck in a bird cage.
We'll get to that once you find them. But how do you guys want to go about addressing the situation? Because right now, people can't even get in.
Is the fire like outside and going in, or it's just inside the house?
So they set the fire inside the home, and it looks like the pack are using gas masks so that they can avoid like smoke inhalation. But they also seem perfectly okay to be inside a burning home for the cord.
Is there any sources of water around here? A fire hydrant?
That's a great question. We can assume that there's a fire hydrant.
The fire truck arrived?
I'll tell you what. Give me a fortune and serendipity roll, and we'll use that to answer the question. So that's going to be your fortune and 2 dice, or your fortune plus serendipity and 3 dice. And just doing a quick look at your character. Does not look like you have serendipity, so roll your fortune and 2 dice for me.
Okay, that's 8, 2d6. Not that
Alright.
good.
So fire trucks are on the way, but they're still a few minutes out. And then you know that once they arrive, it'll take them time to set up as well.
All right, I'm gonna start, creating crows or summoning crows.
Well, if you're out on patrol, we'll assume that you already have a goodly number of crows already ready to do what the crows do.
Yeah, well, then I'll send them at the pack to try and, distract them from shooting at the cops. At least until someone can move in.
And you're going to try and you're going to lay siege to the pack by way of crow. Cool.
That's right.
What is Hopkins looking at doing here?
Well, I think my best bet is to basically march out or hop out and get their attention. So if they are still trying to shoot at any of the cops, they'll focus more on me, the obvious metahuman. And if Miranda thinks she's fast and safe enough, she could probably zip around, enter in through the back while we have the pack distracted and try and locate the metahuman in danger.
I would do something else first. I'm gonna go and while the people are distracted, I'm gonna go run and disarm them from behind, one after another.
Okay. And then let's see. Do we have Crimson? Are you on the call or in the session? I know we've updated your image here.
Yes, I am in the call. I just was waiting for a time to actually get in because when I turned my camera on, it messed up the overlay.
Okay. Hopefully you've caught kind of the scenario of what's happening here, and let's see what Kat has planned here, or what Kat's able to do to help in this scene.
I caught a lot of it. I did not catch the beginning of the layout at all, but
That's a good question. What kind of mansion is it? Like a McMansion, or is it one of those all glass front ones?
It is a it's a larger predictable. It is not a McMansion. It is not like a newer style where like the foyer is like all glass either. So you have kind of like this Victorian style where there's like columns out front, and like the arched windows and stuff like that.
I'm gonna throw a little wrinkle in here, since I know this character, and say that when you get on the inside, everything's made for tiny people. Like, no, it's what do you call it? Normal sized on the inside, but on the walls, you see rooms and everything, and obviously, everybody who lives in this mansion, if there's anybody other than Bryce Fly, none of them are over 1 feet tall or long. Miranda's actually 4 inches.
Like furniture and stuff
Not
is
Bryce
smaller,
is
but
4 inches.
the building itself is people size.
Yeah, people can come over. The building itself, people size. But when you get inside, you're going to be, what do you call, a little bit surprised about, like, there's, what do you call it, huge areas where normal sized people can hang out, but on the walls, there's also, like, stairs and stuff. And probably she's not the only, tiny person that lives here.
So, I think we know what. We have an idea what it looks like now. We know what Miranda, Huxley's profile are doing. Thoughts from Kat in this scene?
Honestly, I'm just thinking about like potentially pulling out my smart device and looking into the background of the person that is leading these people.
All right, so let's run with that. All right, so here's what I need everyone to do. Everyone's going to get to make a roll here. Miranda's roll is basically going to be the regular attack roll at a -10 because you are trying to disarm people. Crowfather, you are just laying siege to them, so go ahead and make a regular attack roll. Hercules, you are trying to draw attention, correct? Michael?
Correct.
So go ahead, give me a provoke roll. And then for Cat, go ahead and give me a. Do you have like a study of metahumans or like a history that might apply here?
I was hoping that my career as a private investigator would help me with this role.
Sure. So why don't you go ahead and roll me your intelligence plus your career private investigator, right? And let's get everyone's rolls in here, and we'll see how this shakes out.
How many dice is that for me?
That'll be 3 dice. Also, if you're wondering, if you check the pins, there's a breakdown of to help figure out dice rolls and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I have a favorite move to go around and do things bullet. But I don't know which one applies.
Yeah, I might want to come out and do that the first time. Can you hear what you said?
I said, I'm pretty sure I have a favorite move for doing stuff in bullet time here, but I don't know which one it is.
Your regular attack is moving through or moving quickly, like exceptionally fast, and not being where you started by the time it's over, but hitting everyone along the way. But you're disarming people, so it's a -10 penalty, right? It's just I think it's listed on your character sheet as move through.
All right, so what's the standard roll there? I mean, what do I start with?
What's normally 12 plus 5 dice.
Oh, move through 12, so it's 12 plus.
12 and then the 5 dice.
I wanted to ask,
Not
could I
really.
substitute my etiquette for a provoke roll? As I kindly request that the vagabonds refrain from performing any further violent actions or else face my blade.
That worked for me. We have a 3-foot tall stuffed bunny telling people to refrain from violence. That sounds like a target.
Please refrain from violence.
Please refrain from violence, lest the vagabonds face my blade.
Please refrain from violence, or there will be violence.
You gotta type out the whole word roll.
Yeah, I realized I'm used to
Okay.
the other way.
So I'm just gonna go through. I'm gonna resolve these as I see the rolls. So, Crowfather, how much damage do your crows actually do? Oh, I see. I'll come back to Crowfather. Sorry. So, what's here to turn up? As I mentioned earlier, this guy, Dogcatcher, was an avid segregationist in the 50s and 60s, and he targeted effectively anyone he felt had beliefs outside of his own. He had a particular row with a plant elementalist named Isis. And then the thing is, he's able to create nets of controlled plasma, and hence his name. So he would essentially ensnare his targets and then burn them for their beliefs and what have you. That's of course while spouting his racist beliefs as doing so. As I mentioned, this is not a good guy, and so we can assume that something similar to this is happening inside, or at least if you don't stop them fast enough.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
That's what I wanted to know. That's perfect. Now I can unleash without feeling guilty.
yeah, look, very bad man. Very bad man. All right, so yeah, so Miranda flew through, easily slapping guns out of the pack's hands. Pop, 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 pop. And then this does make things a little bit harder for them to inflict harm upon Hopkins. But just know that they are not happy with you.
Well, I'm going to sit here with their weapons in a pie. No, actually, why don't I just after I disarm them, just have all of their weapons in my hand pointed at them. Hey, are you scared yet?
Back. Let me check in. What is the damage that your crows do?
The crows do about 8 damage.
8 damage. All right. So yeah. So just to finish off what that looks like, Miranda comes through, disarms them, and then a murder of crows descends on them as they're just overwhelmed, trying to swat them away. This is not going well for them. It would be better if they had guns, and now they don't. But that does leave the question of the burning building, right? However, you guys can completely bypass the pack if you're not so worried about the harm you might suffer inside due to the fire and suffocation. So, where does Miranda end after disarming them? Because with your mobility, you can basically pick a spot anywhere on the first floor or outside the mansion that you want to end up.
Let's say the doorways of the mansion, holding all of their guns. They don't even have their guns now.
Okay.
I got
then,
a pile in front of me, teasing them about it.
So, Hop, please, you are you're walking up to them as you watch this happen, and you see the birds descend down on them. And so let's go back through, and I'm going to start with Pat this time. What are you guys doing to address the dog catcher who is still inside and presumably doing very bad things to Ricefly?
He's inside doing very bad things?
Oh yeah, like the pack is inside, along with the dog catcher. They set fire to the house and then went into it.
Ah, okay. I missed the beginning of that, so that's good to know. In that case, I think Cat is going to rip a car door off and charge in with it as like a shield, and she's going to like bash through them to get through the entrance.
So no real roll required to rip off a car door. We know that Cat can pull off these types of stunts, but what we will do is you're gonna need to make a movement roll for me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be your dexterity, and then your see the possibilities and 3 dice.
Dex plus that 15 plus 3 dice. Okay.
And then while you're doing that, let's jump over to Crowfather. What's going on with my man and the crows? The man, the crows, the legend.
One second.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Let's check in with Hopkins.
So, for the most part, the brood are no longer really a threat, right?
Yeah, no, the pack is effectively. I was gonna make a bad dog joke there. Yeah, no, the pack has been disarmed. They're being harried by the crows. Like one guy is been clawed and pecked, and is like just in a fetal position.
All right.
While others are trying to swat them away.
Well, I will go from the outside lawn and leap in through a window using my my super bunny hop.
Okay. All right. So are you looking in on the first floor or the second floor?
Let's go with the second floor, and since I don't have to breathe, I'm not really concerned about the smoke, and I will begin the systematic search for the VIP at this point.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and give me a movement roll as well, to make that leap into the second floor window. Yeah, it's not so much the smoke for you, but there is an active fire in the building. And then, what are we seeing for Miranda? What's the plan on to disarm the pack?
Let's see here. going to take all the guns with me, but I'm going to start searching around for rice lime. Actually, I should be doing something about this. We don't have water yet. It's burning in here.
Well, there are fire hydrants, right? They're just not like the fire department hasn't opened them.
I know, but we're inside now. We're inside a burning house.
Yeah. But you if you want to address the fire, like as a speedster, you can do certain things like rapidly open up the fire hydrant and then spin around it so fast you kind of like direct the water stream. Things like that if you want to try and address the fire itself, right? Like
yeah, I think we should address the fire before going in, or else we're going into a burning building.
That bridge has been crossed because we have heroes in the building now, but that doesn't mean you can't still address the fire. So that's your call. So you can either you don't have to do this. I just wanted to point out that even though the fire department isn't here, that's still an option.
We have a sprinkler system, or it would be going on. So what do you call it?
Yeah, no. It seems like if there was a sprinkler system, it's not working at the moment.
How do you do the fire hydrant?
All right. So for that, you're just gonna roll your power and your dexterity. So yeah, your power and dexterity is 3 dice. And let me jump back over to Crowfather because you needed a moment. So let's see what's happening with Crowfather.
I'll leave my crows to continue to harass the brood or the pack out front.
The pack, yeah.
I'll continue to harass the pack while I go assist with the searching inside the building. I do breathe though, so I guess I'll just take a deep breath. Try it out.
Power plus dex plus 3 dice, right?
Yeah, 4 dex and 3 dice. Alright, so why don't you give me another attack roll for your crows, and then we know that you're walking in, so that'll take you a moment there. And let me see how this takes out for everybody. So, you grab a car door. The police don't need it anyway. It's fine. And then you sprint past, kind of like leading the way into the building itself. No problems there. Hercules, you are able to easily get up to the 2nd floor with 1 powerful jump. And then Miranda... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying another 8 damage for me.
Okay. Yeah. Miranda, you start working on the fire, like either running in a circle or like spinning your arms. What does that look like? How do you use your super speed to direct the water where it needs to be?
I suppose I could run so fast that I would be able to direct the water on its path just by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as it's spraying out.
Okay. All right. So sounds good. So you start like spinning around the fire hydrant, like unscrew the cap, water like starts streaming out, but you're creating this kind of like conical effect to shoot it towards the mansion. Those of you who are inside, Hopkins, you bust through the window, and you can see Dog Catcher holding Ryfly in one of his plasma nets, just kind of like laughing over her, or laughing over the small dragon creature, and Cat, once you're inside, you can hear the laughter coming from upstairs as well. So, yeah, being on the inside, each of you should take 2 damage just for being inside and the heat and the fire. Even if you're not like directly getting burned, it is like the heat is like oppressive and overwhelming. Your armor does apply. Okay. All right. So let's get reactions now that we have found our hostage here. We'll start with Hopkins because you're right there.
All right. So, how does he have Ryfly like bound up?
So he projects netting made out of plasma. So essentially, like he there's like if you can imagine like strings coming off of his fingers, but they form into a net, and then he can just manipulate them with his hand.
All right, so right off the back, this is pretty much going to trigger one of my drives of Protect the Weak.
Okay.
Ryfly would be screaming about how this guy's going to be so canceled when he gets out of the inflection with this net.
All right, so I think my best bet would be to do a leap into him and attempt to basically knock him from the upper floor down to the bottom, the first floor, and away from Ryfly. Because if I'm in a room and he's outside, he's probably near where the stairs are.
Yep, that makes sense. Let's resolve that first. If you want to do that, do you want to spend okay? So one of the things you can do in Metahumans Rising is you can spend willpower to add a temporary power trick, and in this situation, would you want to add a blast to send him flying back from your kick?
Sounds perfect. I'll use the willpower I get from the drive on that.
Okay. All right. So we'll resolve this first because that might influence the actions of both Cat and Crowfather.
And since this is basically me body, more or less, doing the rabbit version of a body check, I will spend another willpower to add my brawn to the attack.
Okay. So there is a brief moment where he stopped wooting and congratulating himself as he's doing horrible things, to recognize that there is a 3-foot-tall stuffed rabbit doll that double boots him in the chest. He gets out of what the and then goes flying. How much damage does that do?
10 damage.
All right. And he is going to fall a range increment because you knocked him effectively down a flight of stairs.
Does Marshall escape the net?
So, while he's no longer holding it, Wi-Fi is still in the energy net. Like, it is still impacting her. Give me one moment here. Okay. And how much damage you said that was again?
10 damage.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. All right. So, for those of you who are inside, and I will count the crows. That's what counting crows. For this. So, Cat, Crowfather's crows. You see the dog catcher come flying down, slamming on their back, and in this relatively it's not empty, but just all the furniture is tiny, and so there's a nice clear open space for dog catcher to land on their back, and it doesn't look pleasant. So whoever wants to tell me what they're doing first, go ahead and speak up there.
And what do you call it? Is the fire out? And what do you call it? Miranda?
No. You're going to have to keep working to get the fire out. And I am going to keep doing horrible things to everyone inside while that's happening.
All right. Well, in that case, I would like to say, oh, so you like beating up on people? Try me out. And I would like to take the car door and slam it into his face while he's on the ground.
Okay.
And I would like to use my drive fighting bigotry as well as burn a PowerPoint to deal the brawn damage on that as well.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So, so it definitely comes into the fighting bigotry. So go ahead and gain a willpower. Right. You're gonna then spend that to add your brawn in there, and you're gonna add your drive. I think you have something on your character called like fire hydrant punch, which is like I picked up a heavy thing to use. Let's just run with that. But go ahead, give yourself a +3 from your drive, a +8 from your brawn, so a total of +11 and 2 extra dice.
So 30 plus
30
5 dice.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing: if you want to take a -10, you get an extra 3 damage. So throwing that out there, since you've already gotten a +11 for adding in your brawn and your drive.
Okay, so that would be. Yeah, let's do that.
It's now a 20 and 5 dice, but your damage has just jumped up.
My crows caw at the dog catcher mockingly. Nice.
You got 2 6 on that roll, so you get an extra 2 damage automatically for the drive and for the added talent. So that's an extra 4 damage, and then another 2 damage for each 6 that you roll. So that's an additional 4 damage. So what's your damage +8?
Damage +8. Let's see. My damage is 13, so that would be 21.
All right. And yeah.
Rock and roll.
You slam into them with the car door. They're not having a good day now. They weren't having a pretty good day. They were having a good old time. And then you guys showed up.
That's the most useful a police car door's been in ever.
Yeah.
The dogs are always chasing the car. This time the car caught the dog.
This is one of the few instances where you can be happy that the car caught the dog. All right. So let's check in on Crowfather because you're also in the building.
After my crows thoroughly laugh at the dog catcher for being a dumbass, I send them out to go and try to like buffet the flames to try and put them out from the inside.
So go ahead and give me a basic roll for that instead of a attack roll. And if that's what you're doing, let's also get the same roll from Miranda as well to try and put out the fires here.
What was that roll again?
That's going to be your power plus your dexterity.
Okay, hold on a moment.
Can I add my perception to just see where like the sources of the fire are and try to have them put those out more?
Willpower, you can do that.
Right on.
Just to get perspective as to how many crows Crowfather has, if they all sat on the scale at the same time, they would probably weigh as much as 15 or 20 people.
That was a good roll. Take that.
I have crows for days. Possibly.
All right. So you haven't been inside long enough for the smoke inhalation to really start becoming an issue. But between Miranda focusing water and Crowfather trying to remove the oxygen by batting it away, you are able to tamp the fires down. But Pat, you have said mean things, and I can't reach Optiles yet. So Dogcatcher is going to try and test you.
Pretty one-note Dogcatcher.
Yeah, well, he's got like one thing he does well. That's his thing. That's his one thing.
Oh no, he fell down the stairs pretty well.
That's true. He did fall down
And
the
got
stairs.
hit by that car door pretty fantastically.
All right. So he'll spend one action to get back up, and then he will throw out one of his nets, and that will be I already know that's going to hit. So that's 14 damage minus your armor, and you are trapped inside a net of like superheated plasma.
Right. So I know that I took armor. I have no idea how much I took. I don't see it by the armor.
It's right here. If you're looking here, it's highlighted for you.
Ah, yes. Okay. Would the
You have the corridor also. We'll call that a cover as well. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Are you willing to sacrifice the car door?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. So, yeah, we'll see that'll suck up 5 of the damage. I'll give you 5 armor there, plus your regular armor. But it just shreds the car door. While it works as a shield, it is not a certain country-themed hero's shield, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that does take the brunt of the damage before it hits.
So how much do I take?
It would be 14 minus 5 minus your armor.
So. Like, you changed the armor. Am I going to use the old score or the new one?
Well, you use the new one. Mike tends to be pretty good about, or Michael tends to be pretty good about that.
All right.
I must have missed
So,
something. All right.
minus 11 then?
Minus 11 total.
All right. So I take 3.
Cool. So let us jump back to Popsicle, who is now on the top floor. I should point out that Ricefly is still trapped in this netting, and it does seem to be burning them still.
So, can I free Ricefly from the armor without causing any further damage? Like, can I take my wooden sword and stick it into the fire and try and, like, pull the fire off of them and into the sword? Or at least, like, pry open a hole?
So, cause any damage to Ricefly or cause any damage to yourself?
Cause any damage to Ricefly. I don't mind taking damage.
Yeah, no, that would not be a problem. But I will say that his nets are pretty nasty. So you'll need to make a brawn roll to break it free.
All right.
Or break the netting is what I meant to say there.
You know, just to make sure I get this done, I'll spend another willpower to explode my dice.
Sounds good. Okay, so for those listening in, spending willpower to explode your dice, you actually double the value of the dice rolled. You don't actually add extra dice. You actually never roll more than 6 dice in this game. It's usually like 3 to 5 is the normal amount of dice.
And before I hit this, the asterisk 2 still works on the dice.
Yeah, I tried that out earlier.
Awesome.
All right, yeah. So you while your sword may be made of wood, whatever gave you life gave your sword sharpness, and you just slice through that, freeing Ricefly.
And do I take any damage from interacting with this? Because the sword is part of him.
Yeah, you'll take 7 damage. Minus armor.
And this is plasma, which is basically akin to fire damage, right?
Yes, it is effectively fire damage.
All right, and I have a vulnerability to fire, so how much additional damage does that cause me?
I do believe that's 3 extra damage. And that 3 damage can't be blocked by your armor.
All right.
Okay. So let's check in with who wants to go first? The netted cat or the quite free crow?
I'll hop in first. Oh.
Okay.
Now the fire's tamped down, guess I'll go for my usual thing of trying to take his eyes from him. So I'll send my crows right at his face.
Okay.
Right here, boys.
Yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll while you swarm him.
Bring Pop his vision.
We went dark.
I feel like you have to have one crow specifically that always goes for the eyes, named Boo.
Is Ricefly free right now?
Yeah. So on Hopkins' last action, they were able to free Ricefly.
All right. Well, she's gonna flutter off turn on all the cameras in the house. The entire battle will be live streamed.
Okay.
The revolution. Okay, I'll write that in the streamer
You
state.
can't put spaces between the values.
Yeah, I realize that. I always forget though.
Well, this dice is a little bit different than the one we use on the other Discord. All right, so it's a 44. That's going to hit. How much damage do the crows do?
That is 8 damage.
8 damage. Cool.
For the record, I have 2 crows that do it. Hugin and Munin. They go for the eyes.
Well, he seems rather adept at like batting them away, even though he's like he's not happy about the situation. Let's check in with Miranda then. Even though you're outside, the fire is finally out, and you have super speed. So,
all right, now that it's out, I'm running inside.
so you inside kind of get the assess the situation here. You can see that Cat is currently ensnared. Crows are descending upon the dog catcher. No real idea where Hopkins is, although you did see him hop up to the second floor, so presumably up there. And you don't see Ricefly as well.
I will. How is what do you call it? Kitty snared? I mean, did somebody do that to him, or is he in the net that Ricefly was in?
So the dog catcher is able to generate nets of plasma.
Ah.
Like that is his metahuman ability. Like he can generate them and control them.
And yet he is better. Okay. I see where he's coming from here. I don't know what kind of guy this is. I gotta smack him really, what do you call it, hard on the back of the head.
Go ahead and make an attack.
What I have to roll to give him a high speed smack on the head?
That would just be your regular attack there. Your move through.
Alright. Well, it sounds like it's 12 plus 5d6.
No, I'll check it on Cat because Cat is ensnared.
That was pretty good.
All right. And how much damage you do?
Check that.
Coming over tonight, and my wife wants.
So it looks like you do 16 damage, and then you rolled a 6. That's extra 2.
For 18 damage?
Yep.
Alright.
All right. So let me just check in and getting hit in the back of the head after falling down the stairs, getting bashed with a car door, and Crow's trying to peck out his eyes. He's not having a good day. Take a quick second and see if he's able to resist all the horrible things that you guys have done to him. Yeah, because, he's being picked on here.
Oh, poor dog catcher.
All right, so he is he is still standing, but he is definitively injured, and he like you can't tell what he's thinking about at the moment. Like his eyes are kind of darting up across everybody. All right, so let's check in on Cat because we know that you are ensnared. You have a choice to make here. You either use escape artist or brawn to try and break free, which, knowing your character, is probably a brawn roll. So that's going to be your sense plus see the possibilities and brawn plus 4 dice. And I should say that if you're not able to break free, it will be painful.
Did you say 46 or 3?
4 dice because you have an attribute, a talent, and a power.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So you were able to like tear these nets off of you, or like see your way through it and spread them. Where the weak point in superheated plasma is, I don't know, but you found it. And seeing you break out is kind of the final straw for Dog Catcher. And he's like, all right, I'll give up. Why don't you just go ahead, take me back to jail where I belong?
Yeah, I would like to punch him in the face.
And what do you call it? Right side shows back up, gets on a perch way above everybody's head, and says, "The revolution will be live streamed."
All right. Yeah, so that will knock him out. With the fire out and the rest of the pack disarmed, the police were able to get them taken care of while you were dealing with the dog catcher. They handcuff him. They put on an inhibitor collar. Is there anything you want to do before the police take him and the rest of the pack away?
I'll give the cops a thumbs up.
All right. Well,
I'd like to pretend I don't see it and break his leg. Just by stomping on it a little bit.
Are you? I'll pull up my classic GM line. Are you sure about that?
Yes. Yes, I am. He doesn't get to walk away without lasting pain. I'm sorry.
All right. So yeah. While you're handing them over to police custody, why don't you give me a
Oh, I meant before we take him out of the building.
Oh, okay. I see. So while he's still knocked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep in mind that Ricely is live streaming everything.
Oh, I forgot about that. Never mind. I guess I'm not doing that. Yeah, no, I forgot entirely about the live stream. No, I'm good. Sorry.
If Ricely's gonna get harassed over her metahuman stuff, at least she's gonna get a whole crap load of sub for.
I like to imagine the sequence of events is Cat moves to stomp on his leg accidentally, just as Ricely screams out again about how the revolution will be live streamed. He goes,
and then I just step slowly over the leg instead. Yes.
It goes from step on the leg to step over the leg as you walk towards the cops.
I was willing to back you up on it, no matter what. Like,
yeah, if the cameras weren't on there, the crows would be going for the eyes.
He fell down the stairs, and that's how his leg broke. It's also how he lost an eye. Stairs.
I think he is like you guys gave him an injury, so he's probably concussed at least. Like he's not having a good day.
I hope it's more like
he was having a
hemorrhaging.
good day, and then you guys came up and messed up his day. All right, but eventually the police put on an inhibitor collar to prevent him from using his metahuman powers. Put him in a secure vehicle to take him into to take him off to supervillain jail, as it were. Let's go ahead. We're about an hour and a half in. I think this is a good spot to take a quick break. We're gonna take 10 minutes, and then we'll be right back. Can we? I think we had talked about this before. I just don't know how to make that happen. feel I was so kind of awkward playing dog because I wrote this racist character like playing the villain. And he's just a bad dude. Oh, we are back live.
Yep.
Oh.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And all of our camera positions held. So yay! Is that a Rasputin joke?
Could be. I wasn't thinking of that, but I love Rasputin.
As far as like
He's cool.
songs based on actual people or disco songs based on actual people, it's probably one of the best that I know of. All right. So, about 2 hours after the arrest of Dogcatcher and the Pack, a news story breaks revealing that they've all escaped. The police are stating that the inhibitor collar that was used has failed, allowing Dogcatcher to create a plasma net, disabling the vehicle and break out.
I bet it quote failed.
I should have broke his leg.
So they show pictures of the police vehicle in the side street, showing like horrific damage, right? Like the entire like back corner of it has been like ripped out. The tire is like fused to the pavement. Like that's how hot the plasma is. Thankfully, the police involved were not injured. So the problem is, well, I should say, I don't know if this is a problem or the complication is he doesn't like immediately go off and like try and like pick another fight. Like he was severely hurt. Good night, son. Pardon me for a moment there. Sorry. But he and the pack seem to have gone to ground. So let me just check in with everybody, see what people are doing. I'm going to start with Kat here. In the days that follow, what is Kat up to?
Well, considering the dog father got away, I think Kat is going to do some PI work to figure out where his potential bases of operations are.
Yeah. So I'll come back to that. What about Crowfather?
Since I'd be staying at the store mostly,
Uh-huh.
I'll have my crows go out and look for him.
We're just kind of sending your crows out to the city to be your eyes.
Yeah, I'm just having them like, go to like normal like biker bars or, like folks around bars in general.
Okay, like the seediest of seedy bars.
Right.
Okay. And Hopkins?
Hopkins is not really well suited to hunting down people, so he'll spend most of his time hanging out at the bookstore, basically using his masterful cooking skills to see if he can't, bake various treats to offer to customers when they come in.
Oh, books and cookies. I support those. Like that is a bookstore after my heart. I have a weird question for Hopcules. Since you took damage from fire, how do you heal from that as a stuffed rabbit or stuffed toy rabbit?
Well, fire is the one thing that, it truly poses a threat to him, and he knowingly did it, knowing that it would hurt. It will take him much longer to repair that damage. Unlike most damage, he can just repair on himself fairly easily.
Did somebody come and sew them up and stuff and add new stuffing?
Actually, he does that to himself. It's a weird aspect of his creation is that he can basically just, with a short amount of time, probably about like a couple hours or so, repair almost any damage done to him.
Yeah, I have this picture of him like stitching himself together, but because of the fire, I was wondering like how he sources new material, or how that works. Is it just he stitches himself together and the fur kind of regenerates, or is it like, oh, I have to go and buy a couple stuffed teddy bears and like unstitch them and then stitch it on?
Well, in this case, because he primarily used the wooden sword to pry open the cage, it's actually him just sourcing some wood to repair the sword and then having to repaint it.
Okay.
My mind went to a really dark place of like Hopcules having a big stone tablet, a bunch of teddy bears, and just opening them up and taking their stuffing and their skin.
Very, very Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe. All right. And so let's check in with Miss Miranda as well.
And what do you call it? Her and my Sly are going to be live streaming about the whole incident, reaching like everybody. She's what do you call it? Got a pretty good. That's where she makes her fortune. She makes her fortune live streaming. So. Yes, spreading the news about what happened and having commentary from the audience and basically involving them in what do you call it, bringing in any tips or anything. If they've seen these guys.
Oh, I'm being called away. I'm so sorry.
What? Did you get everything?
He had to step away.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna step away for a moment myself. I'm having a slight issue. I'll be right back.
I'm still here. I'm just gonna cover up my camera.
Oh, since I have a moment here, in the chat, Cliffu, yes, the sword, shield, as well as a hooded cloak that he also wears are all actually a part of him, and while you could technically take them away, they would just be recreated via the power that was used to create him.
I know you don't watch TV, Mike, but I was really upset when I saw the promo for the new Umbrella Cat. Because one of the characters can summon birds. That's my shtick.
They robbed you.
One of the new... wait, is the new season out?
No, not the new season. They just posted like a trailer like a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, I am looking forward to the third season of that show.
Oh, yeah,
I really want to see Victor.
I am so sorry about that. My kid just came into the room saying there was an emergency, and so I had to jump into the action. And Turns out the emergency was that Daddy Long Legs on the ceiling above his bed.
Ah.
So I
They're harmless.
ordered the spider out of our apartment, and all is well in the world. We have a pretty firm no spider kill policy in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we can identify like a black widow or brown those spiders. Other than that, spiders go outside and they can deal with them.
Yep,
Yeah, with
bring
the
it
exception
out
of
in the
those-
rain.
those- Yeah, with the exception of those two spiders, pretty much every spider is passive. Those ones,
Mhm.
they don't like anybody. Black Widow's not so bad, but Brown Recluse, they really don't like anybody.
Yeah, brown recluses are just needlessly aggressive.
And what they do to you is just horrific. But,
Oh, yeah.
I will still say that Eight-Legged Freaks is how Scarlett Johansson primed herself for her career in Marvel.
I should watch that movie. I totally won't, though.
I
It's a
really
great movie.
wish they would have made a movie of This Book is Full of Spiders, which was the sequel to John Dies at the End.
I saw that. I read that. I read some of that book, too.
Yeah?
It was pretty good.
I'm for it.
Soy sauce.
I would love it makes me think of the Principia Discordia, but I would love it if the book was actually sold with spiders inside. The Principia Discordia in its first printing had a few copies that I want to say had drops of acid on one very particular page. But that was a very different time. All right. So to jump back into this, and to get back to what's happening with Kat and her research. So here's the thing. Go ahead and make a. You can either do wisdom or expression, depending on how you're going about it. Wisdom is more like researching a different location. Expression is more like hitting the streets and talking to people. But go ahead and give me a roll there.
Can you repeat that? Sorry?
So you want to pick either between wisdom or expression,
Mm-hmm.
and then roll your career PI.
Cool.
And then the difference is
okay.
looking up information versus like going out and hitting the street.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll the wisdom. Would street smarts also apply to this?
It would if you're going for the expression roll, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I go for the expression roll, would I get the PI and the street smarts?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's still
so
pretty
that
nice
would be
because those are both talents, but
22 compared to 18. So yeah, I'll go for the expression roll. Why not? Well, if I'm going for the expression roll, can my beauty count?
that's a good question. I'm not opposed to that. Like you're trying to get people to give you information. People get loose lipped around good-looking people.
Yeah. So that's 21 plus 4, 25 plus 3 dice.
Yeah, 3 dice, because even though you have an attribute, you're adding 3 talents, and so you only get the die 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. You find that people are fairly willing to talk to you. The dog catcher doesn't have a lot of friends in the local community, right? Like
Weird.
like even like at the street gang level, you can find plenty of people like, I ain't no snitch, but if I knew something, I would tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We may be criminals, but we're not that kind of criminal. It's something that you get a lot. Now you do find like one bar where you end up knocking a few heads, but the thing is, even despite all of that, you're not getting any good leads. The same thing for Crowfather. You were kind of scouring the city with your birds, but nothing's really showing up. Like whatever is going on, the dog catcher has like gone to ground, maybe even like fled the city. It's not clear, but like there are no leads. However, go ahead, sorry.
I just wanted to say, I just remembered one of my tools that I have is a tracer. Could I have put that on him?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna set up this next thing, and I'll let you decide. I'm gonna charge you a willpower to do it because it's like a retcon, right? And that'll be your use of tools for the session. But let me give you this next piece of information, and then you decide if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So 9 days after the mansion fire and the dog catcher's escape, a video surfaces through social media. It's posted with the caption, "Scared to post this. No one seems to have the video though. Here's what really happened with dog catcher and the cops." And then there's just a bunch of hashtags, right? But what the video shows is it's basically like the camera is like from across the street, and it looks like a bunch of like buddies just like filming themselves acting goofy. But it catches the police car escorting dog catcher pulling into an alleyway. The cop getting out, opening the doors, taking the collar off of him, and then dog catcher doing the damage to the vehicle. Right. The cell phone cannot pick up any audio from whatever's going on across the street, but just imagine what the audio they are picking up, because they know not to yell at the same time they can't believe what they're seeing. So within 30 minutes, an hour of this video hitting the internet, it is everywhere, and news sources are covering it. With whatever the perspective you can imagine is. There is
me and Ricefly are covering it.
Yeah, exactly, right. Like every like news media influencer is on top of this, but like it's on all like the major news channels as well. Within like a few hours, the police are just like denying the authenticity of the video, and they're like, we stand by the officer's statement.
Hashtag defund the police.
So
some more thin blue line bullshit.
Ricefly's, what do you call it, tweet goes out, hashtag ACAB.
Yeah, when we're over, I'll post a link to the image I used for this adventure, but I don't want to give anything away just yet. So you have a couple of different things that you can investigate, right? Uh, just know that the police are generally respected. Not being a cop outright is a crime. Like you can't just like drop it on a cop and beat him up, right? Um, and if you attack a police officer, that could quickly devolve without any kind of evidence or any kind of backing beyond like this video. As I said, they are denying, right? They're saying that this is fabricated. Right.
I bet you they use the term fake news.
Yeah, no. Like certain news outlets are definitely calling it fake news, and they are 100% backing the blue and saying this is a fabricated video. You know, if this was a real video, they wouldn't have posted it to a dummy account. The person posting this would step forward and admit to it immediately.
I would like to use my abilities to, like my PI and computer technical know-how, to actually check the code of the video to see if it was altered in any way.
Sure. So you're gonna roll your intelligence with computers for that. Your PI wouldn't directly apply here. So this is more like understanding like computer code and how to get to the meta tags of a video and stuff like that. And
could I make
you
an
have the
argument?
original source video, so you're like trying to pull this from an upload and do video forensics, right? This is not like a normal PI kind of thing.
Could I make an argument for cryptography?
Yeah, spend a willpower. Let's use cryptography.
All right. That's still not gonna be much. That's gonna be a 13 plus roll because I am looking and I don't actually have computers, but I have cryptography.
Yeah, so your intelligence is 6, your computers is 5. So that's 11 and 3 dice. I mean, that's not bad, right? It's not great, but it's not bad.
3 dice. Yeah. Hey, not bad.
So, and I noticed you rolled a 6 there. So here's the nice thing about us, right? If you roll a 6 on a talent roll like this, it'll always bump you up 1 degree of success. So it turns a failure into a partial success to a full success, or a full success gives you an extra degree of success, etc., right? So here's the thing: you know enough that if you get 3 versions of the full video, right? You can tell that they are all the same. Okay, without the original source video, you couldn't tell if it's fabricated, but there's nothing in the copies to imply that there is. And it looks like even the ones where things are cropped or cut out, unless there's a bias from the poster, it seems to be consistent, right? So I can't give you a definitive yes or no, but what I can say is it looks legit. Does that distinction make sense?
That was the assumption I was operating under, but it's always good to do your due diligence.
Yeah. So, yeah. So from here, you have some options as to. It's been 9 weeks. We're going to assume any damage you took in that fight. You go ahead and heal that, right? Mm-hmm. Willpower, we're still tracking, but you've got your stamina back. Because I know you and Hopkins got busted up, and Crowfather, you took some damage from just being inside the fiery event.
Right.
Okay. it comes up pretty quickly that unfortunately the body cams of the officers on the escort, their body cams were not functioning. No surprise. And this, of course, we're going to give the officers a benefit of the doubt here. So what would you guys like to do to investigate this further?
Do any of my crows see the officers from the videos while they're out and about? If so, I'd like to follow them. At least one.
Yeah. Do you have like a bug or a tracer tool that your crows represent?
I did on a version of this character.
So I'll tell you what. Go ahead and give me. So we're going to trail them. You can either give me your intelligence plus stealth, or you can give me your crow's basic roll here.
Basic roll it is.
And then, of course, you can spend willpower if you want to like blow it up or anything like that.
$37, no sixes.
All right. So I will come back to, like, it's going to take time for intelligence to come back, but it's not like cops know to watch the birds that may be flying by or anything. So
inconspicuous as hell as they are.
Yeah, the role isn't so much to like the cops notice the birds. It's like how close can the birds get without the cops going to birds too. is what that was there. All right, so let's check in with Hopkins and Miranda here. Whoever wants to tell me what they're doing first.
Well, I'm going to do social media again, see if anybody else is, what do you call it, videos of this happening, or any other videos that are related to it.
Well, let's do an expression roll for that, and then do you have anything like area of influence, social media, or like media influencer?
Not yet, I don't think. I didn't think to put it on my feet.
Okay. So,
Let me look.
yeah, go ahead and give me an expression roll then. That'd be expression and 2 dice. Unless you have a talent you feel would reflect like hitting like forums and different message boards, stuff like that.
So that's what were those 2 stats again? Expression and
Well, you don't have like an influencer talent, and so it's just 2 dice.
Okay.
Unless you have a talent that you think would fit in this situation.
Well, I have expression at 4 plus 2 to 6. Great. Oh, I used my own bot for that. Yeah, oh well. That worked.
Okay, I see where you posted that. That's a 12. All right.
And I did it.
Like, there's a whole lot of chatter, like going on about it, and everyone is of the opinion like this is too extreme to not be real, right? But you can't get any more information past that. What about Hopkins?
So Hopkins is going to basically, while luring customers into the bookstore with his baking skills, he will also take the time to engage them in friendly conversation to gather what rumors are going on about like who did the video, if anyone else has seen anything suspicious going on with the cops, since more than likely everybody's going to be talking about this.
No, the talking rabbit isn't for sale. No amount of money is going to make me sell the rabbit to you.
Okay. So you're just kind of like talking to the clients that come in too. Now, this is an occult bookstore, if I remember correctly, or is this a general bookstore now?
No, this is an occult bookstore.
Yeah, it's an occult bookstore. But you're talking to them about the news and just kind of like work some leads, that sort of thing.
Correct. Just trying to see if anyone's seen rumors of any other police activity that, now that this has come to light, people are paying more attention to, suspicious going-ons.
Yeah, let's call that either expression plus subterfuge, or if you don't have subterfuge, we'll take etiquette. Yeah, that seems fine. Because you're not really trying to occlude your motives here, but subterfuge is, the BS detector.
And can I add in my domestic, since I'm luring them in with my cookies?
Spend the willpower and I'll let you do that.
Excellent.
Cookies to loosen the tongue.
All right.
So here's the thing: like you're in an occult bookstore and talking to people, so you're actually going to get like a thread of rumors, everything to, like they were mind controlled, right? Like the dog catcher's greatest power is mind control, and that's how he gets these people to follow him. Obviously, no one would want to, support that ideology. To like, there are like a secret cabal of controlling the government, and they're the ones that are aligned with the dog catcher, right? Of course, aliens.
You get out. You're out.
But I want my Art Bell books.
I don't care. Go to the sci-fi bookstore.
Let's be real. It's the fact that white supremacists have been infiltrating the police department since like the 1970s.
Oh yeah, like you'll get someone talk about a suppressed FBI report from 2009 that actually talks about this, and then the administration was forced to can the task force assigned to investigate it. These are the kind of things that you're picking up from the bookstore.
So basically, I've become rabbit version of Art Bell. Lovely.
Well, yes and no. You're just collecting them. You're not like running a radio station espousing them and publishing books about the coming storm or anything.
We can make that happen.
I'm trying to remember like actual Art Bell books, but
I have Wealth 4 and nothing to do with it.
All right. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what you get from like hitting the streets and talking to people. So, why don't you give me a sense plus forensics roll?
Alright, I don't have forensics. Can I substitute research?
For willpower.
Okay.
For the record, the reason why I'm asking is we're coming back to what the crows see over time.
$23 with a 6.
All right. So it looks like the officer that let Dogcatcher out, they seem to make a subtle hand gesture when they're talking to a couple of different policemen outside of the station. Right, that's something that you pick up on. Right, like they end up in a casual conversation, and as the conversation starts, they make this casual gesture, and you notice that the other officers return the gesture. That seems odd to you, right? Like you picked that up the first day, and then is there anything else people want to do, or I'm going to keep feeding information from the crows over time?
There is something I would like to do. I would like to go out and track the cops and find them when no one else is around them, just the two that work in the car that let the dog father out. Or the dog catcher.
We have a pro
Sorry.
father and a dog catcher.
Yeah, sorry, that was my bad.
Alright, so here's the thing. If you coordinate with pro father, he knows right where they are at all times.
Right on.
And I will give this information to you freely.
Excellent. Well, then I would like to approach them when no one else is around, when no other cops are around.
Alright.
I'll make sure that I have crows that are watching the alley so no one pulls in on them.
Okay. So you'll find them are they on duty, off duty? You're kind of coming to them, so you tell me where and when this is going down.
I think it would be... I imagine they're probably drinking buddies, and they probably go drinking after their shifts, yeah?
Okay, yeah. So there is a cop bar that they tend to go to on drinking nights.
Right, and when they come out to drive home, when they get into the car, I want to lift the rear end of the car up. That way when they try to drive away, the wheels aren't touching the pavement with the drive axle.
Give me a lifting roll. That's going to be your strength, power, and brawn.
Yes, it is.
And 4 dice.
Keep. Since my power is sense power brawn, a 19 plus 13, that is 32 plus 4 dice. Okay. Oh.
All right, yeah. So do you put them at a 45-degree angle, or what are we doing here? How dramatic a lift are we talking?
Maybe just 20 to 30%, enough to for them to freak out a little bit and try to hit the gas for nothing to happen.
So you bring them up chest height.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So they're in the car. They start to drive off. You pick the car up from the back. Car wheel starts spinning. Car no go nowhere.
Mm-hmm. And I am gonna wait for their reaction.
Well, they're drunk, so they're just gonna try and gun it even harder.
That's that's actually where my head went. So there's probably a moment where they're like, "We'll put it in reverse." That doesn't work either. Put it back in drive. That still doesn't work. You know,
Yeah.
it's that chest high, so they look out the back window. They can't see you necessarily,
Yeah.
right? Like it probably takes about 2 minutes before the one in the passenger seat actually gets out. You know, like to check the tire, and then sees you there.
Well, once he's out of the car, first off, before they get out of the car, I'm going to place the tracer up underneath where the bumper is. That way I can follow them after this exchange.
Okay.
And I'm going to just like walk over to the cop and be like, hey, just so you know where you took them. I know where they are. And we're about to be heading over there right now. So, you know, I just wanted to let you know that you're probably about to lose your job and get some jail time.
I like to imagine, like, as soon as she drops the car, that front cop hits his head on the wheel. It's like, oh no!
Yeah.
Well, you know, he's drunk. He's not wearing a seatbelt. You know. All right.
Basically, just trying to provoke a reaction from them.
Yeah. Go ahead. Give me an expression plus subterfuge roll.
Expression plus... I don't think I actually have subterfuge.
Right.
And my expression is super low.
All right. Why don't we do this? Well, I'll let you. I'll use either street smarts or your PI for a willpower.
Alright, I would use street smarts for that, just because I think it would fit better.
There's actually a term for this. You're actually using a police interrogation technique where you're lying to him to get his confession.
Oh, so I could add law to that?
You're leading the witness.
Yeah, you know what? I will. No, leading the witness is something that happens in court. But yeah, I'll let you add law to that because you know this is a police technique.
Mm-hmm. So that would be 13 plus 3d6. And I imagine that their difficulty to sense it is down considering they're drunk, which is why I waited.
The read technique is actually what this is called.
That was...
I was using this journalism technique called lying to you.
Plus 3d6.
All right. Nice.
28 with a 6, so...
He's drunk. You know, the one guy will run off as soon, or the guy that was driving will just like get out of the car and try and run off, while the one that you're talking to is like no, like we know the video is real, right? They told us to delete the body cam footage. Like internal affairs, we're gonna cover everything for us. Like just go.
I mean,
like, we don't know where they are. We're just following orders.
whose orders?
I told you, like, I told us to delete the footage.
I would like to pick him up with a single hand and hold him up. Whose orders?
All right. Let's see. What did you get before? Let's see. 28. What's your brawn?
+8.
He says, look, they call themselves the Brotherhood, right? You know, coexistence doesn't work, right? You know, they oh, right? What is Cat's ethnic background?
Why not make it the same as mine, like Latina and white?
All right, so he's drunk. He'll just say like, "You understand? This is our country. They gotta leave."
Fortune.
What's that?
Oh God, why am I not in this? I need to go.
I would like to throw him like 20 feet at this point. Just like throw him with one hand.
All right, so that is definitively a thing that happens, but he is knocked out, and the other guy has.
Well, this was pointless. I'm gonna go back to the group.
Crowfather was highly entertained.
All right, so can we assume that you share this information with the group because you said you went back to them?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So
And then what do you call it? And then what do you call it? Miranda and Rice like get on the thing and what do you call it? Live stream the whole thing. Now
well,
everybody knows this information.
like you can talk about it on your podcast, but without evidence, you know that will quickly be discredited.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the thing that is crucial here. Is if you
Don't we
can't
have a
present
confession?
what's that?
Don't we have a confession?
You don't have a recorded confession,
Oh,
and you have a confession that was elicited by force.
And while they were under the influence.
And while they were under the influence, they could have been saying anything just to avoid getting pummeled by a metahuman.
What do I know about the Brotherhood with my street smarts being so high?
You have never heard of this group before. Although I would point out that if you're talking with the group, Hopkins might have something to say about this now.
Okay. So when I was talking to that cop, they mentioned that it was a group called the Brotherhood that is calling the shots and got the dog catcher released.
Was the Brotherhood one of the rumors, or the
Well,
tinfoil hat?
Was there was a secret cabal inside the government that was controlling them, and that's who got dog catcher released. And while the details are slightly different, this kind of jives with what you heard. The problem is you heard so many other crazy things that just kind of blended into the background.
I also know one of the hand signals they use. I do my hands like it. I saw the cops make this signal to other cops, and the cops made it back to them.
Doesn't surprise me.
My plan is to increasingly make the cops think they're going crazy by putting more and more crows surrounding their houses, their cars, looking through all the windows that they live in, especially in the bathroom. until they just go mad with crows.
Crow madness.
I like to imagine you wait until they're on one side of the house, and then you have the crows all peck the windows at the same time. When they come to check it, they're not there anymore.
Right. That's right.
So I will,
There's like a crow that's wearing like a little hat sometimes, and then he's not wearing it.
the top hat. So you are perfectly capable of doing that, especially because if you stake out the police station long enough, you can figure out at least some of them who are involved in this. But that's probably like that's only the people that are making these gestures outside the police station.
Oh, I have a question. Would subterfuge help me influence social media?
If you want to lie to your followers,
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I thought I could just manipulate them, use a little bit, massage it, but I don't lie.
yeah, so that's lying and detecting lies.
Oh. I don't know why I have so many points in that.
Because you are exceptionally good at catching people off guard. And it also makes you exceptionally good at detecting people lying to you.
Okay.
Alright, so I have a random idea. Slightly random idea. Could one of you who can pass as a normal person bring me into the police station as if I was a bunny, just my normal stuffed rabbit looking self, leave me in the police station to just keep an eye on what's going on for about a day before coming back to claim me, having claimed that you forgot your stuffed bunny behind and you'd like to reclaim it?
Yes, I can.
So I will.
And no offense, but I think I would handle being in the police station probably the least violently.
I think we have evidence within this session to prove that out. I will say this: while you've used your tracer, I will go ahead and say if you want to hand Hopkins a bug to drop while inside the police precinct, I will not ask for another willpower if you want to do that. Like I'll let you do that for free. Something like that.
First, I would like to go in there and press charges.
Who are you pressing charges against?
What do you call it?
What's that?
Cops that were on the thing.
You mean the cops that have been proven innocent by internal affairs?
Yeah.
There's no evidence of them doing anything wrong yet.
Well,
all right. I think that is what Michael's plan is by having Crowfather drop him off, and just this teddy bear, and then this teddy bear that has eyes and ears and can move around. But yes. I don't know if you caught that comment, but did you want to have Kat give Hopkins a bug there, Crimson?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like, you can just bug the police department and we'll be able to hear everything they're saying. Like, I'll give you those types of bugs instead of a tracer.
All right, so let's do this. It's really a stealth roll for Hercules. Let's call it.
I could do subterfuge and just lie straight to the cop's face.
Well, so for you, it's just kind of going in there, making an excuse to be there, and then like leaving Hercules in a chair.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that I could say that I found him. They could just shove him in the evidence thing for a few seconds.
Well, for I think for Crowfather, your best bet would be go in there and like report somebody, some dumb kid for stealing from your shop, and give them the bear as like evidence of what the kid left behind or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Okay. Yeah. So
I mean, it was either that or have my crows dress up as a little child and just have them leave the doll.
That would actually work probably better.
I mean, it's still going to be a cool thing. That's terrifying. All right, so why don't we do this?
My child is a metahuman. Don't you mock their crow face.
Go ahead and give me an expression plus subterfuge roll, Crowfather, and then Hercules, you can support that with either distraction or disguise.
I was hoping to use my my disguise, which is part of my power, which is specifically for me blending in as a stuffed animal.
All right. So what will be the bonus to what will be the bonus to Crowfather's roll there? Disguise is perfectly fine.
Right, that would be a +4.
Okay.
Okay. $27.
All right. So the cops gonna take out some information, like what the kid looked like, what did they steal, and then they'll take the bear. For fun, what did they steal?
Magic the Gathering cards.
1,001 potions, lotions, and motions. It's a slightly erotic occult book. I couldn't help it.
All right. Yeah, they will. It takes about an hour, and then they put Hercules off to the side. Does Hercules weigh the same amount as a stuffed animal? Like, I realize like you're 3 feet in size, but they make stuffies that big, right? So does he weigh like 10 pounds?
Well, the aspect of his disguise is that he can kind of revert himself back to his stuffed animal form before he was infused with the power to blend in.
Gotcha. All right.
So he basically becomes just a stuffed animal with a little wooden sword and wooden shield attached to him.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he like there's no like weird weight displacement or anything like that. Like they just pick him up and take him to the evidence locker. Like,
Wow, an hour to report a crime, and why are police forces dying?
They think he weighs 100 pounds. Like, that's not right. All right.
So anyway, the cost of that book was $5,000 to $10,000. So who do I get reimbursed from? Is it you guys or just
Well,
the
we'll
captain?
have to actually we don't reimburse you. We have to try and catch this child.
What are my tax dollars going to pay for? Just to not be reimbursed?
Well, do you have insurance? Like, you could file a claim with your insurance company.
Oh, so my premiums can go up. Thanks.
You're quite welcome. All right.
Fuck the police.
Oh man, I am going to write a letter.
All right. So on the way, you can like flick the bug into the briefing room, the jail cells, the lobby, or the lockers. There is a captain's office, but you can't just like flick the bug into there. That would require some extra work if you want to get the bug into that room. I'll give you any of those other rooms for free, but it'll be an extra roll if you want to go to the captain's office. Well, this is a question for Hopkins.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You're gonna go for the captain's office there?
And no risk, no reward. I'll be a brave bunny.
Go big
Alright.
Stuffy or don't go home Stuffy.
All right. How are you going to get there? Like, describe what you're doing, and we'll figure out the rule based on that.
I'm going to execute my my special maneuver of opening up the side stitching and pulling out a baggie of very well made brownies that I stored there for this very purpose. Placing them in a place to get notice, and while the cops are busy eating the brownies, sneak into the office. And I'm going to use my tools boon for this.
All right. This sounds like a stealth roll, and you'll get the +10 from actual tools. Actual tools being, you get brownies. I'm just going to linger on pocket brownies for a moment longer. So I can see you flinging them in people's faces like pocket sand. Okay. All right, go ahead and make your roll. All right.
I have too many windows open.
You managed to get into the captain's office and drop off the bug. You don't make it out in time, but you bunny up, and you're just kind of like caught in the corner. And so you're sitting there until, like, you know, one of the sergeant who handles evidence comes in, picks you up by the ears, and like carries you back to the evidence locker and like slings you into a cubby.
How rude.
But while this is happening, this is okay. So while Hopkins is in the evidence locker, you're monitoring the bug, and the captain calls in a pair of plainclothes officers or plainclothes detectives. They make that hand gesture, right? And then he hands them an accordion file to make the.
Well, in that case, I would like to let the two people who are not in the police station know, and then go have the crows follow the ununiformed one, if that's okay with you, Crow Father.
Perfectly fine.
And then we're just gonna follow them and show up to wherever they're taking that file.
Okay.
And I will go collect the stuffed rabbit.
I'm going to be very. Can I be very stealthy? I don't know what my stealth is.
Let me answer Crowfather's statement first, and then I'll come back to your question. So there's no picking up Hopkins. He's going to have to sneak out on his own because he's evidence.
Oh, I was just going to say that the kid brought the book back, so I need the stuffy back for the kid.
Oh, yeah. No, so you filed a police report, right? And that kid will have to pick up the stuffy.
Oh, now you're going to do your jabs? That's cool.
So, yeah, that's on Hopkins to find their way out. As for stealth, that's going to be one of your talents if you have it. Or if you're paying back, Crowfather has the undetectable eyes on the scene. So it's safe to say that you can stay with Crowfather and keep a really good distance, and Miranda will be able to close ranks almost instantly. Although it would take Cat and Crowfather himself time to close ranks. If that's what you want to do, like you can tail them without difficulty because of Crowfather's growth. Am I making sense there?
Makes sense to me.
Okay. I want to make sure, because I don't want to take agency away from Miranda, because there was a desire for a stealth roll. I'm just getting alternatives there.
Well,
Okay.
I want to do this. What do you call it? I want to be fast but stealthy, and I want to be filming what's going on, so that we can get some actual evidence.
Okay. So for that, like if you want to be close enough to like film it and it to be clear, you are going to have to get close, and for that you're going to need to make either a dexterity or an intelligence plus stealth. Right? Like speed is not the issue; it's not being noticed.
Okay, so what's the roll? Dexterity and what? I keep on not hearing what you say there.
Stealth would be the roll.
Stealth.
Yeah.
I don't think I have stealth.
Okay. So that would be your dexterity, and then let's see, does your power add to dexterity? No, your power adds to movement. Yeah, so it'd be your dexterity and 2. Like if you want to sneak in close enough to record them.
Okay, dexterity and what did you say? Dexterity and what?
2 dice.
2 dice. Okay. Alright, dex plus 12. Alright. Sorry, it was being hard for you to understand.
Yeah. So I would suggest spending some willpower to bolster this roll, because you're trying to fool them doing illicit activities here, and this is not your.
I'll spend some willpower. I've got plenty of that right now.
Yeah. So you can spend 1 to explode your die roll, or is there a talent that you think you could apply here?
Kind of wish I could use subterfuge.
If you want to spend the willpower to add subterfuge, I'd be for that.
Alright, I will do that.
So that'll be your dexterity, subterfuge, and 3 dice now.
Okay, 22 plus 31.
So here's the thing: you can get relatively close. Like you're probably within 30 meters or so. Maybe even like as close as 20 at some point. But you don't want to get closer because you don't want to give yourself away.
All right.
Okay. Which means that you'll film them and they'll be able to see what's happening, but you're not going to pick up audio.
All right.
All right. So they send this off. The officers take the accordion file, and they stop in front of an alleyway, dropping off the folder behind a dumpster. They just drop it in there, gets back, like, the guy gets out of his car, drops it off, gets back in his car. It takes less than, 15 seconds. They're in and out and gone. Right? But this is the drop. So the question is, Do you want to keep tailing these cops? Do you want to monitor this location? Do you want to try and stop them at this point?
I want to run over and review the papers.
That's what I was going to say. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Not
I
only
mean,
do
I would
want-
like to make note of their license plate, because we have that on camera with them dropping the package off. I would just like note of the license plate because cop ID numbers are tied specifically to the card that they're in.
That is accurate. All right, so you give them some time to drive off, and then you can come in, you can check the package. Like, there's no seal on it. It's actually just like one of those little string ties, and you can open up the accordion file. But it's a written message in German. Does anyone speak other languages?
Only English and bad English.
All right. So yeah. It is a message written in German. That is what I will give you. Okay. So do you put the package back and like wait to see who picks it up, or what's the plan from here?
I take pictures of every page.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I was going to like pull out my smart device and actually just hop into Google Translate or whatever, or Frugal Translate.
All right.
That's what I was going to do too.
Yeah. So I'll let someone, if you want to roll intelligence plus cryptography, I'll let you make that roll. It's just going to be harder because you don't speak the language natively, and you're relying on translation service. And as much as I like Google Translate, it is not perfect.
Well, I don't.
Let the staff do that then, but I took pictures.
Okay. All right. So that would be 11, and I think that would be it. 11 plus 3d6.
3d6. That's right.
So not great, but
Yeah. So when you translate it, the first thing you realize is like this is written in a cipher, right? This is an encoded message in a language I don't speak, and I am using a translation service to try and sort it out.
yeah, and I don't think I figured anything out doing that.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. Like you can't translate it. Well, I'm sorry, you translate it, but something may be getting lost in that translation, and like you can't break the cipher because of that. But you have pictures of it. What's the plan at this point?
If you send me the pictures, I can probably hire someone to translate it.
But that'll take time. But that is certainly something that you could.
I post a picture of it to my Twitter, and ask my friends to translate it.
It's
If
not
you
bad.
post to Twitter, that would make these pages public. What's the message you're going to attach to it?
Hey, can somebody translate this and retweet what it said?
All right, and do you have all right, so because you don't have anything like area of influence, like media influence or anything like that, I'll let you make like an expression roll to see if anybody can like can you give this legs and get someone to pick it up.
All right. Expression plus what? 2 or 1?
It'd be 2 dice.
Okay. Six and a 2.
So I'm going to come back to that because you did get a 6, so that's a partial success. Hercules. It occurs to you what I mentioned to Crowfather earlier. Your evidence. If you're getting out of here, you're gonna have to figure out how to get out on your own.
Yes, this had already occurred to me, which is why I was hoping we'd find a way to get me in here that didn't involve me being evidence, but didn't seem like that was a very good plan. We had any good way of doing that, so my plan will be via air vents.
All right. So that seems perfectly reasonable. I'm not going to make you roll for that because it's not like someone is like actively monitoring the air vents. And again, you're not as heavy as a person, so you can kind of come up and out. I wanted to hear like what the plan was there, and that seems perfectly right. Once you guys upload those pictures to Twitter, what do you do with the package? Again, this was the drop site that you're at.
I'm going to hide and wait around to see who picks it up.
Okay. All right. So it takes several hours. I'm going to assume you guys have some means of like communicating with each other over distances, right? Like there's no like you have to buy comms. We just assume that super teams have means to talk to each other, right? So does anyone like inform Hopkillies of like where you are and what's going on?
Oh, I have a crow waiting to carry him. He can like ride on the.
It would take more than one crow to carry Hopkillies.
That's fine. I have a couple of crows waiting for him.
A team of crows, a whole damn murder.
He can ride on them like a magic carpet. A magic crow pit.
A magic crow pit.
There it is.
So, a couple hours after dark, a man who's just seemingly walking down the street from a nearby nightclub will walk past the dumpster, just bend over without breaking stride, pick up the package and slip it into his coat and continue walking.
I filmed that from where I'm hiding.
Yeah, like I'm not going to make you make stealth rolls because you guys had hours to find good places to hide.
Right. Can I say that I was hiding like right around the corner, and as soon as I get word that the package is picked up, I'm just gonna like walk by and like bump them and slip a tracker onto them?
So you'll need to make a distraction roll, and you'll need to spend a willpower to use another tracker.
Okay, that's fair. I'll use a willpower.
So yeah, just give me a expression for plus distraction.
Expression. I don't have a distraction. I'm just doing it.
I think I'll let you sub in Street Smarts. I won't even charge you a willpower for it because this is the same talent that like I'm gonna use a bumper to steal someone's wallet, right? So expression is Street Smarts.
All right. Still, that's not gonna be amazing. That's gonna be like 12 plus roll.
Yeah, 12 and 3 dice. All right. So there's a like he reacts like he's about to do more than he actually does, and then he just says "watch it," and like quickly walks past you, right? How do you monitor your tracker? Like, is it just like an app on your phone, or do you have like a special device?
Yeah, I think it's just like a program made by the company that is an app on the phone, the company that made the tracker, and yeah, I think it would probably be a highly encrypted service.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a wisdom plus tracking roll. I know you put a tracker on them, but there's a reason why I'm saying this.
Wisdom plus tracking. Okay, so that's still just 14 plus roll.
Okay, so you realize that the guy kind of like balked at what you were doing and may be cautious. And so it cues you off to maybe keep an eye on it. So the tracker stops moving after a while. But you guys as a team are still following him at a distance. And you see what happens is he just kind of like takes off his coat and throws it in a trash can a couple blocks away. And that's why the tracker stops moving. But because you are because you anticipated this, and that was that roll I had you make, by the way. You're able to follow him to the sewers, and like he pops up in a sewer grate and goes down there.
I knew the turtles were behind this. Sorry.
At least he's going where pieces of shit belong.
True enough.
All right. So the question is, you try and follow him down.
Give it a minute or two, and then I'd just jump down. Yeah.
All right. So you, the four of you, slip down into the sewer, and you can see kind of like his shadow down the sewer tunnel, and he seems to turn. But when you catch up to it, there's nothing there. Like he apparently walked into a wall.
For the record, I am always in my movement power in the sewers.
So you turn into crows?
Yeah, I turn into a murder of crows.
Okay. You don't want to touch the poo water?
I do not want to touch the poo water, the poo walls,
All right.
poo floor.
Can
So, yeah.
I...
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I tell whereabouts he turned into the wall and went through it?
Yeah. No, like you're confident this is where he turned, and that's why you're like he had to have turned into this wall.
Okay. I would like to go through it.
And when you say this, are you saying like you slip through, or do you say this like Kool-Aid Man?
I kind of want to wait for Sir Hop to get here before I bust in like the Kool-Aid Man.
You guys are all together.
Oh,
Right.
Sir Hop did join us? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hop.
Then yeah, Kool-Aid Man. I'm gonna Kool-Aid Man this shit.
All right.
I'm gonna. Well, I'll wait.
So here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You have just busted in to a weird underground base with banners on the walls that look oddly reminiscent of a certain access power that should have gone away a long time ago. It's not the exact same, but it's similar.
Nazis?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
That's what I was expecting to find. Yes.
All roads
Okay.
lead to Nazis.
And dollars.
The supervillain bread and butter.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if you have spandex, you got, you know, some flavor of Nazi at some point. I may or may not have been watching Captain America last night just to get in the mood for the running of this adventure.
Ooh, I hope Captain America 2.
The first one. 'Cause that's the one I can get away with watching in front of the kiddo for the most part. Like, I only have to cover his eyes a few times.
Mm.
There, I think. All right, so, yeah. So here's the way it works. I'm gonna run this like a disaster, right? The stakes are, if you guys succeed, you're gonna gain some crucial piece of information. If you fail, well, you're in a secret underground Nazi base. It does not go well for heroes in secret underground Nazi bases, right? But what this means is that you guys just need to describe what you're doing. We're going to figure out what the role is, okay? There is a target number that I know, and you're going to have to roll over that. And then every turn, I'm going to make a roll just to see how the disaster moves forward, to represent like the defenses of the base raid and how quickly they were able to react to you. Okay, but you can say things like, "I distribute punches and faces to guards," is just as acceptable as "I'm going to crack their computer systems and pull up a map of the base." Right? All of these
People
things-
see us already?
What's that?
Do people see us already?
Well, you just knock down the door, so the alarms start going off immediately, right?
There's no stealth when you Kool-Aid man your way into the enemy base.
Yeah. Stealth goes out the
Sorry.
window when the way in involves the phrase, "Oh yeah."
Sorry,
So-
I couldn't help myself.
The only mistake you made was you didn't snap into a Slim Jim afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That is a different "oh yeah."
That's
But it still
okay.
would have worked.
They're connected.
I'm still live streaming everything that I'm seeing here, so people are watching it live.
All right.
All right.
So we'll go in the order of how I'm seeing people. So Miranda, what are you doing as part of raiding a Nazi base?
Let's see here. There's nobody to fight yet.
Like, trust me, we can just insert people for you to fight. Like, if you want to say, like, "I'm taking out the first guards to arrive," that is what you're doing, right? Trust me.
I think
they're
I'd like
coming.
to do something to turn off the alarm.
All right. So if you want to try and disable the alarm, that's going to be like a technical operations or like a computer roll, maybe a perception roll to like find it, something along those lines. And that would be like the roll that you would make. Okay.
Okay. Then I'm going to look for the what do you call turn off the alarm button.
Yeah. So we'll call it a perception roll.
Which
Right.
which two?
Sense of perception.
Sense and perception. 6
Yep.
plus 7.
And I will totally let you spend a willpower if you want to add your rapid rabbit to that to represent you just like running up and down the hallways faster than people can react to you while you're like, "Wait, turn off the alarm."
6 plus 7 plus 8.
And then that would be 4 dice. All right.
Plus 8 is 22. Plus 4.
So you'll make that roll, and then I will jump over to, pardon the pun, that was unintentional, Hopcules.
That was pretty good.
What are you doing in this disaster?
Is there a way I can draw, like, leap into the more or less like the center of the base, find something like, I assume they have some kind of large vehicles stored here, probably, right? It's Nazi base. They probably got tanks or something, right?
I mean, Nazis do like tanks. We can't argue with that.
And so I just want to start, picking up whatever is the heaviest thing I can pick up to just throw at other big heavy things to draw a lot of attention from the enemies here, so that maybe I can reduce the amount of damage my allies are taking from the base's defenses.
Yeah. So go ahead and give me a brawn roll for that. That seems pretty straightforward there. All right, Crowfather. What's the plan for the crows?
Hopkins mentioned base defenses. Are there things like turrets and stuff, or is it just like?
Oh yeah. So you got your standard soldiers. You've got your robots that shoot like industrial coolant and flamethrowers. Plus you have your pop-up automated cannons. Because no good Nazi base is ever to want for pop-up auto guns.
Let me just check my skills here real quick.
Okay. If you're worrying about base defenses, as always, punch in the face is always an option.
All right. I'm gonna have my crows spread out and start like tearing out the electronics.
Because it's kind of like thin the bases, like shut down the bases, electrical systems.
Yeah, electrical systems or any automated security they can. Just start tearing out like, motherboards, circuit boards, stuff like that.
So let's just call that an attack roll to make like.
Yeah. Let's go for an attack roll.
All right, and then what is Cat doing? Crimson, I think you're muted.
I think Kat is going to, basically charge up to a group of soldiers, and then I'm going to use Tricky, my boon, to stomp on the ground to open up a hole in it, because I'm assuming that this base has multiple levels, so they all fall through.
Okay. We can definitely do that. Yeah. So that would just be we'll call it an attack roll, and this is you're using Tricky. You get a +5 to that roll.
All right. Attack roll +5. What's my attack roll again? Standard is 24. So 29 plus. Is it just the 3d6, or does Brawn count on this and make it 4d6?
Spend the willpower. You can add in your brawn. It'll give you the extra die and that +8.
Yeah, I'll do that. That'll leave me with 1 willpower left, though. Alright, so 13 plus my 24, that is 37 plus 46. Oh. $55 with 2 6s.
Nice. All right, let's see how they do.
Oh yeah, I got a 48 with 2 6s. By the way.
Yeah, so like because of the disaster, I'm just getting everyone to roll now, and then I'm gonna roll, and then screw up to describe how everything rolls out, right? So let's see here. All right. So fairly quickly, you have some like regular soldiers who will come out. They'll start firing on you guys. Miranda, Crowfather's Crows. You guys like kind of go into the base. Same thing with Hopkules. Well, I guess all of you kind of just like swarm into the base, each with like different goals in mind, right? You'll see these pop-up turrets using modified machine guns, I want to call them subnodes, but basically it's just like a short machine gun because they could like reconfigure it the way it's designed, and so it takes up a little space, right? I wasn't joking when I said that they have these like giant robots that like shoot flamethrowers and like encase things in ice. Crowfather, your crows just like shred all sorts of electronics throughout like the hallways of the base and in like open rooms. The guns start going haywire, just firing in every direction, or the automated guns, I should say.
Yes, bring me their wires.
Miranda, you're effectively like hitting every button you can find. Bop, 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 bop. But like the alarms, they go off, they come back on. The alarms, they go off, they come back on. Like
so do I see the what do you call it? Dog. No.
The dog catcher?
Yeah, the dog catcher. Is he around here?
Not that he's seen yet.
Right.
But what I was about to say is that like because you keep turning the alarms off and they keep coming back on, there seems to be some kind of central command room that you haven't found yet that is controlling this. Like, oh yeah, you've overridden it, then they override your override, right? Like it's almost like playing a game of cat and mouse with the alarms and notifications. Pat, you, if I can steal an MMO term for a moment, as many soldiers as you can, using things that you tear off the wall to give you protection before just stomping your foot down and collapsing the floor in a shockwave down one hallway, sending them all like tumbling. And then Hopkules, you do and find a motor pool, and you start creating a multi-car pileup to deal with the robots that are kind of coming after you. In all of this chaos, as I said, like the soldiers are firing, there's automated defenses, there's these robots as well. Everyone, you're going to take 9 damage minus your armor, right? And then we will do another round to see how you guys are faring against the base as you try and find the command zone.
Dodge these things.
This damage is just you're in the disaster. It's going to happen.
Okay.
Well, let me say, if you have evasion, You can spend your evasion for this session and ignore that damage.
What is escape artist? Is that related?
Oh, that's Populese. Oh, random. Yeah, so you have evasion.
Alright.
The work perception, you can ignore all damage till the start of your next turn. So the bullets are flying everywhere, laser beams, all that good stuff. You're just like, no, I'm just gonna walk between the bullets.
Yep, that's me.
But as for the rest of you, that's 7 damage before armor. So apply your armor. Crowfather, that does apply to your crows as well.
Wait, you said 7 damage or 9 damage?
Okay. 9 damage, because I rolled a 6.
Oh man, my crows have better armor than me.
Are you surprised there?
No.
They're well armored crows.
It's not a good day for Crowfather, but Crowfather's crows are doing all right. So the best way to explain this, as I said, like he summons, what would amass to like 300 kilo, or not 300, like 1,000 kilos worth of crows, right? And you can kill a whole lot of those birds and not really diminish the effective strength of that mob. Right? So it's not like armor is kind of a placeholder for like I didn't want to use bigger numbers.
He's functionally an interdimensional roost.
All right. So we're moving on to the second round. You guys are still in the base. You haven't found the command center yet. You're trying to take out the defenses. They're kind of going wonky. You've dealt with a good number of the soldiers, but there are some of these robots left. And again, the guns are still firing wild. So let's go in opposite order this time. I think I started with Miranda, so this time I will start with Kat.
Sorry, I was muted. You said that some of the robots are still up. Does that mean that at least one of them are down?
Multiples are down. Like in the motor pool, there's actually like a small collection of junked robots thanks to Hopkins.
Great. I would like to jump over towards one of them and just like grab it by the leg and like swing it like a baseball bat into a group of like 2 or 3 of them. And I would like to be using my move, I-beam bat.
Okay. Yep. So yeah. Just because of the weight, you're going to be using the fire hydrant punch. The I-beam bat was just there to like I'm lifting a heavier thing, right?
Okay,
But,
I thought that the robots were probably heavier. That's why I suggested that. But yes, that's perfect. I will use the fire hydrant.
The fire hydrant punch is also car glove, so it's like anywhere from like the weight of a fire hydrant to the weight of a car is where that's at.
Yeah, to the weight of 2 cars, I guess, because...
All right, so go ahead and you'll make that attack roll, and then let's jump over to Crowfather.
3d6.
Alright, since I noticed that the alarms keep cutting in and out, I guess I'll just make an effort to try and find the source. So I guess their main control room.
So that'll be like a type of sensory roll, like that could be tracking or perception. I'll put navigation because you're trying to negotiate the space. Whatever works for you there.
Yeah, it tends to be a straight up perception roll, but I will also turn into a murder of crows to assist with the search.
Okay.
Crow!
You are not Jackie Daytona. All right. Let's go to Hopkins. What's the plan here as you wreak havoc in the motor pool?
Is there anything I can do to reduce the damage my allies are taking?
Yeah. If you want to make a defend other roll, I will let you substitute taking or I'll let you substitute that roll for instead of reducing the disaster successes to absorbing damage, right? And for every degree of success, I will let you suck up damage for another hero.
All right, I will do that then.
Okay. And Miranda.
I think I'm going to go on a disarming spree again.
Okay.
What do you roll 5d6s on? I've noticed that I haven't rolled a 5d6.
I have
don't
a specialty with defending others, which gives me my 5th
Oh.
die.
Actually, I think your move through is 5 dice also.
Oh, I haven't been rolling that with 5 dice.
Your move through is 12 plus 5 dice.
Okay.
You have a specialty 4 moving through.
So does it count right now with these disarming everybody again?
Yeah, so that's absolutely a thing that you could do here.
Okay. I know you wrote it down. You wrote 12 plus 5d. Six, 5, 4, 2.
All right.
35. They no longer have their gun. None of them do. I have their gun.
So, please, you can take the damage for one other hero. And here's how this plays out, right? You guys kind of pressing into the base. I'm going to assume that you kind of like meet back up as you're trying to find the command center. Of course, like, you know, they always put the scrubs out front and like they're super soldiers on the back end because of course Nazis have super soldiers. Why wouldn't they? Right? And of course the attacks intensify. We get Hopkins trying to like lead the front with his shield. And then Crowfather's crow is kind of flying above all the fire to get into the command center, and then just swarm in and just take down the people that are in there as you guys try to fight through the last bastion of resistance. Of course, we have Cat just swinging this robot like a giant baseball bat at anyone that comes behind you guys, right? And then anybody up front, Miranda's like zipping in and out, trying to remove the guns. Of course, like the robotic soldiers can't be disarmed, and so that presumes to be like the last line of resistance before you guys finally break through into the command center, right? So this is going to be 11 damage for everybody. Hopkins, you'll take that once for yourself and then once for somebody else. You just need to let me know who that someone else is.
I'll take it for Crowfather, who I'm pretty sure is the squishiest one here.
You are almost assuredly correct. And then If you have willpower, you can spend that to use your evasion and avoid all damage again. I just don't know if you have willpower left. But yes.
I'd also like to state I'm going to use my impervious.
So that will be 4 damage twice for you because I rolled 6. Okay.
You said that was how much total?
It is 11 minus your armor.
Alright, 11 plus armor. And I can't dodge.
Well, that's the thing. If you have willpower left, you can spend willpower to use evasion one more time.
Yeah, I better not use that right now. I should just armor 2. So how much was that again?
It's 11 minus your armor, so you would take 9 damage. Yeah. I guess the thing is, like, you're so in the weeds in between these soldiers, right? Like the lines of fire are so tight you just can't avoid everything this time. But yeah, you guys managed to get into the control room, take out the last bastion of resistance, and get into their computer system.
Download.
Just stick everything into a zip file and put it up online.
They call me Cronan the Barbarian. Don't look at my obvious wounds.
Oh, I am hurting bad.
I'm sure you all are. Yes. So here's the thing that you guys discover. The Brotherhood is a plot by this group called the Eisenreich, which was a experimental sciences division of the Nazi Party. This is purely game fiction, by the way. And during the last days of the war, they went completely underground.
Literally.
Yeah, quite literally, they went underground. But what they've done is they've infiltrated the like police force in the city, and it's not just this one precinct. It seems that they were putting together plans to kidnap the governor, along with a national politician during an upcoming visit. And they were leveraging the Brotherhood to identify where the gaps in security are and to coordinate a situation where they could easily pull this off and make it look like an event outside the cops' control without actually hurting any of their people. Right? Like, they're going to hurt some people, just nobody that's on the inside. Right? But being able to get to their computer, you're able to identify everyone that's involved in this conspiracy at the higher level. Right? Now, of course, coming out of this, you've exposed this to the public, which means that you've also exposed this to non-corrupt law enforcement, like members of the FBI who are very quick to take up this case and quickly swoop in to stop anybody involved in this from escaping. Because you were talking about events happening all over the city, because since you have actually broadcast this, once it comes out, like, you're broadcasting a raid on a Nazi base. Believe me, that gets you some views. But yeah, the FBI, and specifically like the the Metahuman Crime Prevention Department will like step in to prevent anyone from escaping in these various police forces and assist you since you have successfully captured that data.
Yeah.
Micros brought those gold bars in with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
But congratulations, you have successfully found the poisoned apples in the bunch.
So,
I was picturing a different game.
So I have a kind of question here. I'm going to be keeping this character around. Based on this session, can I put some points into social media related stuff?
So here's the thing. What I'm going to do is, because we're doing one shot, and I want to give people the ability to swap out characters. I'm going to give everyone 2 AP. Right? You can use that to buy a new drive, or as you would normally use it to advance your character however you want. We can do that offline, right? That's the equivalent of 6 experience. But it's just 2 AP because it's a little bit easier to sort out. Any questions, comments, concerns? Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah, that was a good time.
watching had fun.
Punching Nazis is always a good time.
Well, I figured if we're gonna start things off for a series of one shots, let's start things off by punching Nazis.
Heck yeah.
Like, that's half of our what do you call it? Hobbies is punching Nazis.
you can never go wrong with a good Nazi punch.
I'm actually so for those of you listening, the adventure that I just ran is called Poison Apples. It's actually available for free on the House Doc website. I'll post a link to that in the chat. If anybody wants to check this out, it is available for you to run. Again, I've been your GM. My name is Dave Silva. I'm actually the writer of Metahumans Rising. I suppose this is the point where we're going to do a little quick outro. But I hope that we see everyone again for our next session. If you want to find me, I'm on Twitter as like HouseDocPro. I'm on Facebook as Metahumans Rising. You can, if you want to support us and support our webcomic, which you can also find at the House Doc website of DOK. In all these, it's House DOK, by the way. But yeah, if you want to support us, we're on Patreon at patreon.com/metahumans. And then let's just go around the room and do an outro. Why don't we start with whoever wants to start? I'm not here to dictate these things.
Did I freeze? No, I didn't. Good. Well, I'm like I said at the beginning that I work with Fool's Moon for IT stuff, but I'm also writing my own RPG called Talents Are Boring, Science Magic. And I'm just going to say that be on the lookout on my Twitter for more information about this if you want to check out what it's about. My Twitter is Elena Foxy, so and just keep stay up posted with our Fool's Food news, because that's where I'm publishing it. It will be published under our brand, so I'm hoping to be able to deliver that to people within the next 6 months to a year. That's good enough for me. One day I should just do a stream describing the entire setting.
I'm Michael. I don't really do much of anything online lately. I mean, you can follow me on Twitter at LLASNAD, but I don't post there much anymore because Twitter is a cesspit, which nobody should ever actually use for anything other than self-promotion.
Memes. There's also dank memes.
There's also Elon Musk now.
We
Could be running the whole thing.
Elon Musk was already on Twitter. He just got upset because they tried to kick him off, so he bought it.
I thought it was because he couldn't get that guy to stop streaming his death location.
I think that's part of it. I think he was just really butthurt about the fact that, like, nobody likes him anymore because everything's coming out about him.
There's that too. Right, do you want to give us your outro while we're talking?
Yeah, sure. Hey everybody, I'm Crimson Galaxy. That's KRIMSIN, because I'm not me without a little bit of sin. My pronouns are they, them, she, and they, and today I was playing Cat Cadence, a super strength build character. Coming up this week, tomorrow, I'm going to be on twitch.tv/Valdrianth, that's VALDRIANTH, at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. On Friday, I'm going to be doing the season finale of my Super Sentai RPG over on twitch.tv/nerdswithdice at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. On Saturday, I'm going to be back over at twitch.tv/fantasygrounds at I think it's 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And on Monday, I am going to... Oh, I didn't write my Sunday game in there. On Sunday, I'll be back here on this channel. Wait, no, that's not this week yet. It's next week. Never mind. I was right to not write that down. Okay. On Monday, I will be over on Party Wipe Games playing a Avatar Legends campaign called Greetings from Republic City. And that's about all I got for this week.
That's a lot.
You are a very, very busy person.
I try to keep myself busy. What else am I going to do? I'm disabled. I can barely leave the house.
Well, we are happy to have you on our stream. All right. And then, Spud, do you want to give us your outro?
Sure. My name is Spud. You can find me on Instagram at @gmasterspud. That's where I post all my paintings and art.
All right. Once again, we want to thank you and thank everyone at Fool's Moon for having us. We should be back in 4 weeks for our next adventure. So again, hope everyone had a great time and have a great evening.
See you later.
Bye-bye.